Well, I'm gonna stop what I've been doing on to do this journal entry on June 23rd at 3:30. So, and I know exactly how I want to revolve my conversation around, what I want to revolve my note around, what I want to revolve my entry around, and that is, summed up in a few words. That is, shut your eyes and look. Right? And then a subtitle for that thought, is the question: is it true? Is it a trip or is it reality? Yeah. And so, kind of want to elaborate on both of those kind of ideas, put them together. Because I already know that, and I'm saying that actually so I can remember exactly, like, keep on track of what I'm trying to write here, or what I'm trying to say here. And so, I was thinking about my mom and stuff like that, so I decided to get this CD. Mary John Wilkin, I Have Returned. And because my mom used to, among the many albums that she played, a lot, this was included. And I think particularly, it was always a message to me, because this I Have Returned was like embedded in my mind. That I have to return, like, okay, like this is this is like my mom's demand, because she was invested in her religion and her spirituality and her faith and her hope and her love. So I just have to pause right there, because it's an amazing thing, the impact a myth has on our lives. My mom lived her myth. She was a small woman, only 5'2". Most time, she was only, 110 pounds or something like that. And let's say she was little in stature, but she was big in spirit. So, I think you get the point about that. And so I had to go get this power adapter so I could attach the DVD player that I bought in order so I could play this, because my equipment is too old, won't hook up to that TV. And so let's see, Sport and Goldie and Mr. T and Ripley. Just want to wait for that off-road vehicle to go by. But anyway, so those four dogs, I think I said them, Ripley, Mr. T, and Goldie, and Sport. You know, so the store. It is sometimes, you know, like today 4 of them wanted to come, so you know they all jumped in. So must want to take a ride. So when we go for a ride, you know, I go to the Dollar General is right next door to the Harbor Freight in the same plaza where I got this thing. So I go into Dollar General, you know, get, you know, some hot dogs, and then I just share them with my pups. You know, so I got like I had them on sale, 2 packs of 12 hot dogs for $5. You know, Oscar Mayer wiener. I bought, so I got 24 of them, 24 hot dogs, and then I shared, you know, some of them, you know, with pups in the truck, and myself, you know, I give everybody one. You know, I got all the way around, and then and when I got home, you know, shared it with other dogs and the pups that came. So the pups that went with me got treats twice, but I mean they went with the only ones that were here were Boomer, Sally, and Bonnie. I had 4 of them with me. So, but anyway, when I was in Dollar General, so the doctor called with a report back from when I had my X-ray done, or a CT scan done, and on my abdomen and chest. And so he said, you know, my lungs are consistent. That means everything looks the same in my lungs. All right. And he said, but I got a callus. I got a calloused area in my abdomen. So, you know, he asked me if my side was still hurting. I said no. And he said something about having a colonoscopy where they stick something right up your butt, like a scope, and look around in there through all your intestines and everything. And I had that done one time, and I didn't like it. I don't know. They said they'd make you go to sleep now, but I just didn't like it, and I just didn't even want to talk about it, really, actually. But you know, push come to shove, I mean, I would, but you know, my attitude is not now. And so you know, said, you know, all right then, you know, I'm gonna hold that off, but if you have any bleeding, you know, then you need to have that done. And so you know, my attitude is to hold off on exploring things that I believe that I'm just going to take control of with my mind and my consciousness. Because I fight against this kind of stuff, you know. You know, well, I mean, I've learned early, you know, be a fighter. I fight against stuff. And, well, I don't fight against it though, like, you know, submitting to like having something, you know, going up my butt. You know, I mean, I ain't gonna fight against it. I ain't gonna fight against it by allowing that. Like, you know, I'm gonna fight against it like in the way that I think I should fight against it. And look, I decided I went to the doctor like last year. Like I kind of usually go like around my birthday, and so I went to the doctor last year, and they sent me all new prescriptions and stuff like that. And I decided, well, I never even opened the bags. I had all the prescriptions right in the bags, and I decided I wasn't going to take anything anymore. And I was going to see the baseline, not taking nothing, and I'm just going to see what I am without taking nothing. And so, you know, at least 8. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Might have been the whole year. I know at least 8 months. You know, I was supposed to take something for my thyroid. You know, I said it's about 10 years ago. I had my thyroid gland wasn't working like properly, so I don't think it was producing enough of the stuff. I don't think it was like producing too much. It can go either way, you know, too much or not enough. Same thing with diabetes, you know, too much or not enough. But for me, it's thyroid, and so I just didn't take nothing. Because I mean, when they told me, I didn't feel any different anyway. I mean, when they told me it wasn't working right, it wasn't like I got no physical signs of it not working right. I just believed them. I just trusted them, you know. And I decided, well, I'm gonna not take that. And take some stuff, you know, to relax my muscles, because, you know, like when I turned my head and stuff, like all my hair was cracking and stuff. I thought it was my bones, but like cracking your knuckles, kind of like, you know. But the doctor said it wasn't my bones, it was my muscles. So he prescribed me this muscle relaxer, and then all that cracking went away. And then stuff for like arthritis, because, you know, anytime you damage a joint and stuff like that, you know, you get arthritis there most of the time. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's all the time. So, you know, I got a lot of places where I've got joint damage. You know, I mean, I hit by a forklift before. I've been in all kinds of accidents. Me and my son were in a truck, and they rolled over 3 times. I didn't really get hurt in that one. I felt like I was floating, because I already knew how to kayak. I knew how to roll. I just put my arms up, and we had a ladder rack, so the cab didn't get smashed because of the ladder rack, because we were on the job, taking a turn into a place called, like, Naked City. I guess goddamn I was going in there. Our truck rolled 3 times. We got hit in a turn. We were turning in for the job. We got hit in the turn. Anyway, yeah. My eye socket got busted twice. And so they said, you know, so when I opened up the package, I seen they sent me glaucoma medicine. I didn't know I had glaucoma. Nobody ever told me. A jar there, but I didn't open the package for, like, you know, I don't know, 6 months. And so, you know, I went to the eye doctor and stuff. That's when I learned that I got, you know, 15% dead nerves going from the back of my eyeball in my left to my brain. And he said, well, it's, you know, probably from the trauma you had in that eye socket. Because, you know, I busted my eye socket. I didn't do it. I mean, I got hit with a baseball bat, and I got punched in the face, you know, and once hit with a baseball bat, and then, you know, another time punched in the face. Same eye, left eye. And I was thinking, well, when I was a kid, when my eyes swelled up real big, it might have been that eye. Because I was trying to imagine as a kid what eye that patch was on. And I can't really be sure, but I don't know. I'm just saying, it very well could have been that eye. 50-50 chance. And because there's damage in that eye, it's probably that eye. It's probably a synchronistic factor. But anyway, so anyway, I am taking eye drops now because I went to the eye doctor. But that being said, you know, because if I don't, I'll get like, you know, blindness in that eye because of pressure, because I've got more pressure now or something. And anyway, so I don't have to take thyroid medicine no more. I had to go in twice for blood work to verify it, you know, because they didn't believe it. I guess they wanted to be able sure. So they got to check these certain, I can't remember what he called them. No, you know, some kind of medical name for these certain kind of things that they got to check for in the blood. But I guess they can see your thyroid stuff in the blood. You know, that's where they're checking it at. It's in my blood. You know, the Bible says the life is in the blood. Well, anyway, that's Old Testament. That's why something about sacrifices, stuff like that. Atonement. Yeah, that's where that comes from. Atonement. Blood sacrifices. Life is in the blood. Yeah. That's where they're looking. They're looking in my blood for my thyroid stuff or whatever. Anyway, so I said I'm clear. I ain't gotta take stuff no more. Hey, no. Yeah. I could say a couple things that might have changed. I don't know what changed it. My mom said was healed of epilepsy. I don't have epilepsy no more. That's where the part where, is it a trip or is it reality? That's where that comes in. Okay. Yeah. How much can you do with your consciousness? You know? How did I really get healed of epilepsy? My mom said I was healed. That was her myth. Okay? It was a powerful myth, wasn't it? I never had any more seizures. Well. Anyway, so now I got to take a thyroid medicine. As far as this callus area in my abdomen, well, I've been poisoned a lot. Well, at least any poison I have ever occurred by breathing, you know, smoking cigarettes, smoking other crap, you know. I mean, you know, at least I ain't got no lung problem. I mean, yeah, but we're hard on our bodies in a lot of ways, you know. Your stomach, you know, when you get nervous and stuff like that, you know, you feel it in your stomach, you know. Okay, well, part of this talk also is I knew I was going to mention this, you know. Shut your eyes and look. Okay, well, all right, okay, talking about that nervous feeling in your stomach. Well, that's what I was thinking about when I pushed the knife into my neck, you know. And when I think about that, I get a nervousness in my stomach, right? And it gets hot, and I feel like I get an iron clamp around my torso, kind of like presses me in, and my stomach gets hot when I think about that, because the reason why is because I don't know how I survived, see? I don't know how I survived, man, because I had my finger right on the pulse. I put that blade sideways, like right there, flat, so that I'd turn it up, I'd push it in, and then I would turn it, and I'd rip it out. Okay, right where that main artery is. And I had my finger on the pulse, and I had a rope tied around my neck, so it'd even pop out more. And when it wasn't pulsating out, I pushed it in again, fast. I didn't want this thing to last. I didn't want to carry it on. I wanted to get this thing over fast. And you know, I didn't get it that time. It was like, Jesus Christ. So then I asked the cops, look, did I do anything right before I turned over the knife? I asked them. Because I would have pushed it in a third time if they said, yep, we found some dope in your car 2 miles down the road. Something like that, you know? I felt like I was going to be set up. I felt like I was going to be set up, man. I've been accused of three times in my life that I didn't do. You know, I got an assault charge for one thing. I didn't do that. And then I got I kicked off my house twice. On both times, same thing, assault. Every time, assault. And all they need to do, all these people need to do, is if you don't have any witnesses, they just make up a story. Tell the cops. Nobody's ever going to know. And that's exactly what happened to me. 3 times. So, you know, I'm very cautious about doing anything risky alone anymore. But now I don't have to, really. So anyway, I was thinking about that. You know, shut my eyes, and I, you know, felt that feeling come on me, and you know, something hits you, it kind of just comes on you in a powerful way. I shut my eyes, I'm looking, and see what I see. I see the face of a man looking at me. I see the silhouette. Like, I don't see like a skin color or anything like that. I see like a shadow image, like, you know, like a darker color of black than the surrounding black. Okay, like everything is kind of black because I got my eyes shut, right? But I see a picture of a person looking at me. And actually, it's kind of like the person, like right now I'm looking at my phone. Actually, I just realized that. Like I'm looking at my phone right now because I can see myself talking like this, you know, because I got it on that camera, the front camera. So I know where I am and I know what time it is and all that kind of stuff. And actually now, I just realized it's not actually, you know. I just said before I just, you know, say so man. But now it looks like a picture of my own face, except it was all shaded, you know, black. Like, you know. Well, now that's actually a harder thing to figure out there. It's like I'm looking at myself, right? That's a pretty hard thing to figure out there. I was thinking it was like somebody out there looking at me who protected my artery from being cut. And they're looking at me because they're saying to me, like, seriously, like, you know, I stopped that blade. Yeah. Like some outside force. Because I don't know how I didn't cut it. No, I'm serious. No. Anyway, so when I shut my eyes and look, that's what I was saying. And now, well, that's all it is. But the point is that I realize a lot of times that we can shut our eyes. Okay, you have something you gotta give your heart and your mind and your thought to, okay? Your whole being to. And, you know, you shut your eyes, you go into darkness, you go into stillness, you shut your eyes. I don't know, man, you might see something. I did. Maybe sometimes you won't see something. I don't know. But I think one way or another, you'll see something. Like, and you'll understand. You gotta shut your eyes and look. Yeah. Still a pointless turning world. I mean, but anyway, that kind of covers that part about shut your eyes and look. And then the other part, is it a trip or is it reality? I'm at 22 minutes. So, you know, is it a trip or is it a reality? I grew up, you know, taking acid, you know, for like at least a couple years. I mean, in my partying days, me and my stepbrother Brian, you know, I mean, we're still in high school, but this was before I moved from Indiana to Florida, where my mom was living, because my mom sent me to Indiana to live with my dad because she couldn't control me for a while, and we had some conflicts. And then when I got to my dad's house, I didn't have drugs and everything in Wisconsin. And I went to my dad's house. Then I started. There's a lot of, marijuana started earlier, but when I was living there, you know, that's when me and my brother would party constantly. Trip. I mean, it really wasn't really a party. I mean, a lot of times tripping. Like one time, you know, we thought the rapture took place. We thought that we were left behind, and there was nobody around. And tried to call people, nobody answered their phone, nobody around, and we were tripping. And we were both, you know, educated in the religious world of the rapture. It's going to happen someday. It's going to happen pretty soon. People are going to disappear. Look, man. Well, there's nobody around and we were tripping. We believe the rapture took place. And so, you know, I learned early on, though, you know, how to trip. I mean, like, I knew how to separate I knew how to always remember that this was a trip, you know. So I never, even after I got older, and you know, times when I was sleep deprived and stuff like that, I would trip. I mean, I would see things. You know, if you get deprived of sleep, you know, first you're gonna auditory hallucination comes first, and then visual. If you go too long, you know, you're gonna get visual. You start hearing things, stuff like that. Or I don't really know what it is. It seems real a lot of times, but at least taking a drug, you knew that you were tripping. But sometimes if you get poisoned or something, and I have been poisoned. I tripped without actually knowing that I was tripping. Like, I thought it was real. It was only on further analysis that I realized, well, I'm sure glad I didn't act on what I was seeing or thinking. But, you know, and I've poisoned myself. Going underneath the trailer here, spraying for fleas. You know, some cats were under there, and got fleas under there. And after I rescued all those kittens, I don't know what happened to the mom. Can't remember. Maybe I rescued the mom too. But I primarily remember the kittens. And anyway, I was down there, and then all of a sudden, I had a sprayer connected to the hose, and I was spraying it on there, stuff to kill fleas. And I started getting affected by it. Like, everything I was looking at started looking like mirrors. Like, constantly, everything I looked around was all mirrors. Well, not mirrors, but yeah, like mirrors. Like if you went into the House of Glass at the fair, or the House of Mirrors. I mean, everything was like glistening, like glass and like mirrors. Weird. And plus, I was feeling like I was starting not to be able to breathe. And I started panicking. I think, man, I don't want to die under here. Like, I felt like I could, if I pass out or something, you know, I'm dead, man. And I don't want to die. So I dropped the thing with the hose and everything, and I just raced hands and knees to bust through the siding underneath here. And it's you know, plastic, vinyl, and screwed in and everything like that. Well, when I went out with my hand like that to push my way through and escape, palm of my hand went right into a screw. I threw, bam! Talk about bad luck. Well, I made it out. But then I read on the back of the bottle something about 180-day effect. Like, after 180 days of being subject to this stuff, you breathe it in, as you're going to see an effect of some type. I can't remember. It was bears stuff for fleas, I guess, you know, hook it to your hose. I didn't read the directions and indications before I did it. You know, I just looked at those, found out what number to put it on, and went in there and did it. You know, I have no mask, nothing like that. So, you know, I'm just saying, I poisoned myself. And there have been other ways to poison myself. And there's been other things that just, you know, cause me to trip sometimes. But I'm pretty grounded and regulated, and like I'm a critical thinker. And so if something don't seem right, you know, I kind of try to get to the bottom of it, and that's what I always do. And so, told a lot of stories, but I really didn't really push home the point. Sometimes, you know, you gotta really think hard if something is a trip or if it's a reality. Like, okay, my thyroid thing, was that a trip? No, that was reality. Getting hit in the face with a baseball bat, was that a trip? Of course not. That was reality. But the side thing, you know, okay, like I've been poisoned a lot. I mean, and this, but it could be a lot of things. But I think, because what else could it be other than some type of poison. I mean, I don't know why I would get a callus in my side. I don't remember any specific injury that would cause that, you know. It doesn't matter, I guess. What matters is how I take control over it. I asked him, I said, well, I'm not gonna have this other procedure done, so is there anything I should do, you know, like short of having this procedure that you're talking about? And you know, eat healthy food and stay dehydrated. I mean, stay hydrated. So, well, all right then. And I'm going to add something to it. I'm going to add positive thinking, positive thought, faith. You know, consciousness. See, like making my own reality, kind of deal. And I'm not talking woo-woo. You got that. I'm talking reality. I'm a fighter, see? And I'm a risk taker. Oh. And the reason I am like that is I got inspiration. And I got faith. And I got myth. And I got a higher elevation. I got higher vibration. And I got a higher perspective. I'm on top of my dad's shoulders. You know, first thought was when I shut my eyes, I thought maybe, well, I wonder if that's my dad looking at me. I couldn't tell. You know, it was just dark. But when I see myself, so same shape as me that I'm looking in my phone with right now. Maybe it was me talking to myself. Maybe like this guy, Darius or whatever, Darius Wright. He presents the idea that, like, we are ourselves. Like, we are actually our own God. Like, we're out there. We made a thing of life for God to subject itself to, and that's us. And we are our own God. Well, all right, well, that's not a far stretch. I mean, if you think it is, I'm sorry, I don't. The point is, nobody knows, all right? That's why the greatest wisdom that we can ever aspire to is wisdom of humility. And nobody knows. We don't know. But you know what? I'm going to do it my way. Just like I think Frank Sinatra. I did it my way. And I recommend you do the same. It's Frank Sinatra. I did it my way. It's a great song. Right. And the whole thing about the Garden of Eden, you know, like eating the fruit, you know, making up your own mind what to do. Good and tree of good and evil. Inevitable. No, it's inevitable. That's what we came in here for. We came in here to make up our own mind what to do. That's what we're in this position for. Well, even if it wasn't the case, okay, as according to the Judeo-Christian tradition, you know, man's mistake or something, not necessarily ordained. Well, no, I don't buy that. I don't buy that. I don't buy it. It don't make sense to me. You gotta make up your own mind what to do, and make it right. Do it big. Play sweet music. Do what you love. Be who you are. All right, bye.